like it's moving, maybe with the light, or it moves. It's just an image, like it's like a wide almond shaped eye, lashes on the top. Just an eye. It's just an image of an eye. It's not attached to anybody. But also, when I was going down the elevator, there was my guide with me was really tall, much taller than me, like a giant. And it was giant. He was giant. And he was holding my back. And then when we were going really fast backwards, he was holding my head, keeping me safe. And then partway, he just kind of hugged me, and I went in, like, nestled close, and as he held me, well, just to keep me from being scared, or not, just to keep me safe going through time.
It's beautiful. Is it the guy that you know?
Well, I felt like he knew me very well, very well, but he stayed in the elevator, so he's not with me now.
Okay, he helped you just through the elevator.
Yeah, just to get to this place was just
Beautiful. Great. So have a look around now. See where you are.
I feel like I'm in a room, I'm inside, and there's water. Like, the room seems, to my mind, it seems futuristic. But there's water, like a small pool, and there's light reflecting on the walls. So the walls sort of shimmer a little bit with the reflection of the water. But I think maybe that's why the picture, the image of the eye it feels like it's moving, because there's water reflecting on it.
I see.
It seems like a living room, and like the eye it's a picture hanging on the wall, and there's sofa along the wall, seating, sort of like a bench sofa, long along the wall to sit at.
So are you alone in this room?
At the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I would like you now to look at your feet and to tell me what you see. Describe your body, feet, your legs.
Shoes seem grayish blue, kind of hard, almost metallic. Gray blue metal, I guess. The shoes, the boots on my feet.
What's the shape like?
It's hard to explain. The front of the foot, it goes more like the toe to up to up the leg, like it doesn't curve in like our feet do. It goes more into the front of the shin, the ankle, higher than our feet. It's higher than our.
So you think it's just a design, or your feet might be kind
Well,
of?
they might be like that. They might be like that.
So tell me now, your legs, how do they look like, or what you see?
They have a texture like almost like scales. I don't know if it's my skin or if it's what I'm wearing, but it's tight, blue, and a bit scales.
It's the same color as the boots.
So it's more of a vibrant blue. The boots are like, yeah, a light gray blue, pale gray blue metal. My legs are not metallic looking, kind of thin, I guess. Kind of thin legs.
And legs.
And
Right.
on top, there's like a tunic that comes just past my crotch, over that area. So just the legs come out underneath it. And it's silvery gray. It almost seems metallic, but it's soft. It's a tunic, and it's like a belt at the waist. I feel very skinny. My body is very thin and long. I don't know, the image.
So look at your hands.
The image of Grover from Sesame Street came to mind, but not furry. My hands are wings, or I have wings and hands. The wings are attached to my arms. Yeah, I feel a blue bird person. Blue arms, blue wings. I have a helmet on that's gold. A gold helmet.
What do you feel like your face looks like?
I feel like it's a long, sort of a beak, and it's golden. A beak, a nose, beak, a big orange or gold colored.
You have eyes?
Yeah, they're dark. My eyes are really they're longer than human eyes. Like, but they're still just a round pupil, but the shape of the eyes is longer.
What about on your head? Their hair or something?
No, just short, feathery things. There's a cuff on my arm, and it's silver. A cuff on my right arm.
Does it have a meaning? Or does it look like?
It feels like it's a technology, and you can communicate with it. When you look at it, there's nothing on it, but you activate it and it can be used, and then you see all sorts of lines and images in it, and communication. I feel like I'm in this living room, but it's not mine. Like I'm looking for somebody, or I'm visiting somebody.
Do you have a sense of what you do there, who you're visiting?
When I say that, I feel like there's a female that's coming out and trying to make me feel at home, and she's just trying to make she's very friendly and nice, and she's shorter than me, a little bit wider, she's thicker than me, female, but she's just a really friendly. I don't know if she's like a housewife or a hostess. She's just greeting me, wanting to make me sit down, let me get you something, make me feel welcome. She's very chatty, chipper.
Do you feel like you have a male or a female body?
Slightly more male, but also really female.
Are there genitals?
Maybe more female, but I don't feel super feminine. Like, it's not a strong female energy. I mean, it's strong, but not strong female. The body feels strong. I would say the feminine and the masculine between different beings like me is not very polarized.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So even though I feel female, but I feel quite masculine as well, like masculine energy.
Okay. And what about your age? Do you feel like your body is rather young, or maybe rather middle age or old?
Well, I feel adult. I don't think like maybe sense of 40, but like that's the kind of energy, but I don't know really how old I would be. I could be like a few years old to a few centuries. I don't know.
Is your body healthy?
Yes.
Now this woman is with you.
Yeah.
Is she from the same kind?
She seems
human.
She seems like I'm not there to see her, like I'm maybe there to see her husband. So she's greeting me and entertaining me. And yeah, she doesn't relate to me as a fellow woman nor a man. So that's back to that.
Okay. So what happens next?
Doesn't know how to. She's just being really polite, like just trying, because it's a little bit awkward. She feels like she doesn't know what to do with me.
Yeah.
She's not scared. She's just doesn't know what. Yeah.
Okay.
Overcompensating by being really hospitable.
So what happens next?
I thank her and sit down in a chair and wait. The pool, I think the chair is on the other side of the pool from the wall with the bench sofa.
Yeah.
So I'm still looking at the wall with that eye, the picture of a wall with that eye.
Oh, the picture is on the wall.
The picture's on the wall, yeah, above the couch. So it's a living room. There's light coming in through some window that bounces. It must be coming in behind me because it's bouncing on the wall in front of me, or coming maybe from a roof. Maybe the light's coming through the roof, but the sun is reflected on the picture of the eye.
So do you know what symbolic it has? What meaning it has? The picture of the eye?
No, it feels familiar, like it's a familiar image that some people might have, and looks like an artistic rendition of something that is more well known. I keep thinking of the Eye of Horus, but that's not what it looks like. It doesn't look like that. It's more wider or taller eyes, a wider almond, like up and down wide.
Is this a human eye or is it's an eye?
Yeah, so mine are wide. My body are wide, like side to side, but this is wide up and down. It's hard to describe. Like wider open, up and down.
Okay, so it might not be quite a human eye that is depicted there.
No, it is. It is kind of. I'll have to draw it. I'll have to draw it out. So also what I see. Okay, in the circle in the middle, there is a line. I need to draw this. There's a sort of, but the reflection on the water makes it look like it kind of moves a bit. It's something, it's sort of supposed to be like that. So I look at it and I understand what it's referencing.
So what it is referencing?
I don't know. I just know that I understand what it is. Like it's familiar. The man to get home, I guess. The husband. I stand up when he comes to the door. He's surprised to see me. He knows me, greets me. I don't know. I don't know what to say to him. It's been a while, I guess, since we've seen each other. But he didn't know that I would be there. He says he needs to eat first before we talk. I feel like I've shifted the perspective to the man. Seeking the man now.
How does this man look like?
Well, I just see him looking at the other being, the bird being, and he's like, feels like, wow, he's kind of having to, he needs a few moments, like he needs to eat, and he also just needs this time to kind of process that he's here. He needs the strength of the food in order to get into a conversation with him.
Right.
It's probably not a conversation.
Okay, so we move a bit in time, and you are at the moment where important things are exchanged, and you can choose your perspective, either the man or the first first person that you
From
work.
the man's perspective, he's wearing what feels like linen clothing. And he has dark, short hair and a beard, dark beard, brown beard and hair. He's ready to talk, and they're sitting across from this small pool of water in the middle of the living room. They're talking about what's been going on from each of their perspectives. The man has been working on a project. Oh, it's been going well. It sounds like it's fine. He thinks it's going fine to his knowledge, but he feels like this bird guy is going to probably change things, and he thinks it's all going well, but there's like a feeling of maybe he's not so sure if the bird guy is just gonna go, okay, well, that's nice, but now he feels like there's something coming.
So how's the reaction of the bird guy?
He's listening to the man talking about what's going on, and
Are they in some kind of business together?
yeah, but the bird guy is higher up, like, or has more, like he he leaves the planet. So maybe he hasn't been on the planet for a while. So he's come to the planet.
So they have plans together in a way?
Yes, but I can't see what the man's working on.
And from the perspective of the bird, maybe, is there more to see if you change perspective?
The perspective of the bird guy, he's grateful. He feels has a good feeling about this man, grateful for what he's done.
So when the man goes to work every day, what is he doing?
It involves lots of other people. Is he building something or just something's already built and he's making it going? All I get a sense of like, it doesn't make any sense, but it's like a big gray, like it would be like a big building, a factory or something, except that it's all solid stone. Like that's all I get the sense of, but it doesn't make sense. So, but it's like a big block, rectangular block, like a big building.
I'm curious to know, how is the house where this living room is? How is it looking from the outside?
Windows built in rock again, but it's more like windows that are all like big glass panes that it's built into the side of a rock, that the rock comes up, so that the rock is coming up and goes outwards, and the house, so it is almost like it's not underground. The windows are quite a few feet over the ground, like 20 feet. The floor of the house is 20 feet over the ground. The rock juts out, it hangs over a bit.
How many rooms are in the house?
I can see that there's 3 big windows from the outside. There are different rooms. So one of the rooms would have one big window in the front. The sun is not directly shining in, so there's some light the sun is reflecting off something else, and then lots of reflected light. But from the outside it seems sunny. From the inside there's another room through the living room, and that would be a bedroom. And there's another room that is like where there are plants. There's lots of plants. Maybe if you use something else a little bit deeper in the rock, but not much.
How many people do live in this house? It's him, his wife. Are there some other people?
Another adult. I don't know if it's another wife or one of their adult children.
Female or male?
I think it's maybe it's like an adult child that lives there, or just another friend. There's another person, another being that lives there. So we are moving into the future. So from his perspective, he feels like he's sort of expanding technology. It's like taking a leap. He feels like, so we're moving into the future. It's kind of like if, in the 70s or 80s, if you added computers to your business, you'd be taking a leap. So it's that feeling like going into the future. This is like, okay, we're advancing, but it's cutting edge technology that they're bringing in to whatever they're doing.
So the bird person is bringing this technology?
Yes, and wants to integrate it with what he's doing. And big step.
It would be interesting to know, is there an exchange? Does it go only one way, or is there something going back to the bird person?
No, there's some way that this serves the bird person. So, and whoever he's involved with. I think the bird person is involved with a group of different extraterrestrial or different races. His group is mixed race. So it gives me information. They give me information, and it does somehow serve a bigger purpose. Maybe giving information, and it feels like it's not exactly just an offer. It's a directive. They're not just leaving it up to me to do it. I can ask as many questions as I want and get help, but yeah, it's a directive. I don't feel uncomfortable with it. I don't feel forced. It's just, it makes sense to get this directive. I don't know what I'm working on, what I'm doing.
So how do you feel about what you're doing?
I feel good. I feel it's very interesting. I think a lot.
Is it your job?
I'm in charge on a level, I guess would be like a, top management, but I'm not the boss. I'm not the CEO. I'm not the overseer of the project, but in the day to day, year to year, I make decisions for how it goes, how the company goes. It's just like a job. I don't know, it's just a job, but it's definitely overseen by these other beings. But I still feel important to the project. But I don't feel like an inflated sense of ego. It's not like that. And I don't feel like I'm greedy with it. It's really, I have everything I need. I have this beautiful house and I'm well taken care of and it's relaxed. I feel relaxed. Don't feel like it's I'm very complicated.
We continue exploring. Where do you want to go?
I want to go walk outside, I guess.
So walk outside and describe a little bit what you see.
The area where my house is, there's quite a bit of like big rock beyond it where it sticks out, or it juts, like it's hollowed out a bit, like a wave underneath, just like where my house is sort of built into. Quite a large rock that's bare, a large amount of bare rock. Behind it, if I looked at it, I feel like there's a mountain behind it. And it's also pretty rocky, and there are other people's houses, especially the more important people, I guess, or like me. Then they have houses, maybe of different jobs, but they're different types of people. They also have these nice houses as well. Seems like a status. It feels good. The rock, it feels really good to live in a rock. And you're building your house. Yeah, the house part of a rock. Peace. They're peaceful. I feel like if I look in the other direction away from the mountain, it's like not a mountain, it's just a big hill, sort of a mountain. We call it a mountain. But the other way, it's greener and it's rolling hills. There are different houses and there is vegetation, gardens growing. Seems busy. Um, I feel like the entrance to my house is actually from within. I don't know if there's an elevator that goes up into it or stairs you climb to get up. But there's an entrance down below. Yeah, more like stairs.
Let's see. Let's move in time to a place, to another time, another place in the same life, right? This man. It's an important day.
I feel like I just moved way forward in time and I'm looking at this place after it's been deserted for a long time. So what would have been my house it's empty. There's no remnants of house, but it's still hollowed out and there's still a space you could stand in the rock, stand and on a ledge and look out. And
recognizable that there was a house before. Can you recognize?
kind of it would look like you could not a house. You wouldn't know there was a house there. No, there's no remnants at all. Or you might, yeah, not really. It's so long ago. But the area where there's just a lot more trees around, a lot more all grown in over the part where there was other houses down below. It's a lot grown in.
The vegetation is different, or is it more abundant?
More abundant, taken over, bigger. Trees are bigger. There's quite a lot of the air is really thick, wetter. It's more humid. The air has more humidity in it.
So do you know what happened? How did this change?
Not from this perspective. I'm just seeing it. No light, nothing. I see no remnants.
If you were to be a big eye that looks into time, like the eye that was at the beginning, could you move to observe whatever happened, not from the perspective of a man, not from the perspective of a bird, just an eye that observes, and it can observe through tens, thousands, millions of years, and you can look at the occurrences from kind of a higher perspective. What would you see?
They stopped coming,
They stop coming. Cool.
visitors,
In this case, a bird people, a bird person.
others that were part of that. I hear we need you elsewhere.
So they went to different places.
They,
That in another place.
the man and the woman were moved somewhere else. They went to a strange land. Steps, many steps. This huge mountain was like a, I don't know if it was a pyramid, but it was like, I feel like I'm walking up these really high steps that are on an angle. This whole side of the mountain is on an angle. Can't tell if it's carved out like that or the whole thing's actually man-made, but it looks like there's vegetation growing on it, on the outside of it.
So they lived there at this other place.
Yeah, but they moved. This is not where they live. It's not their home, but it's where the man works. He's been relocated basically. Then I still don't know what he does.
So are they still working together with this other beings?
Yeah, just a totally different environment. It's totally different. It seems like more tropical rainforest or tropical land, but it's like high in the mountain. There's a big mountain with the whole side. It looks like a side of a pyramid, and he's walking up the steps. I don't know if the other sides are like even like this, or it's just one big. Yeah, I know it doesn't. It's more of a rectangular shape, like a really long side. Yeah, it's not exactly a pyramid. It's built into the side of a mountain, but it's not a pyramid. There's something inside. So there's inside this thing is where I'm going. We'll go into a door on the side. It's very big. It's very big. I look very small when I'm walking up. I'm very small. But I go through a door and I go inside, and there are hallways, and I can feel the air rushing through, like the air moves inside. So there's sort of cool, a very light breeze that goes in that's kind of funneled through. I just go inside and I'm in a hallway, so I don't see everything at once, but I see it. Step in the hallway, feel the air. There are people. Like I get these feelings of sort of factory-like things, but I can't think of anything. There's also like a sense of curiosity, a sense of doing something important, working on something. Not a lot of stress or pressure, but keep moving, keep trying and working.
Do you feel you know the people who are inside?
They are, I don't know them, but they are similar to me, and I guess they were brought here because they were good at certain things. Like I was good at something, like thinking.
These people look like they work with their hands, or do they look like more doing some other type of work?
Kind of seem like scientists, like white lab coat kind of thing. Yeah, I see white lab coat. We wear at work.
And do you have a sense of how many people there are?
Maybe there's a lot of people in this sort of mountain building, pyramid mountain building. There are lights, there's electricity inside.
And do you have a sense of, are they human, or
Yeah,
are they rather men, rather women, both sexes?
both.
Is there an age?
I think a lot of the people are very experienced. I just can't see what they're.
Can you ask somebody? What are you working on?
We're waking the dead.
Oh, waking the dead.
But it's metaphorical. It's not. I don't think anyone's bringing anyone back from the dead.
Can you ask him to show you?
Some are working on a cure. It seems like there is the potential of a catastrophe and a shift, or a climate shift, something that will change, and we're testing different ways of dealing with it, of getting through it. Hasn't really happened yet. I guess there's seems like there's an illness too, like some kind of It's almost like working on is it cryogenics, when you freeze someone in order to bring them back to life in the future. They're put down before they're actually dead. They're put into stasis before they're dead. We work on how to, that's one of the things we're doing, working on how to cure them.
That's why they said waking the dead.
Yeah.
So do you see the bodies of the people that are in stasis?
Yeah, but not all the time. So I think there are tests. Yeah, I guess I can't tell the vibe of this experiment of what's going on. It all seems like it seems like it's okay. I don't get the impression that anything's malevolent about it.
And do you have a sense of the technology that was brought by the bird people or by the bird person and his team?
Well, I think I'm working in a different place, but before I was working on I was working on a level below this. Like this hadn't really, yeah, I guess that's where I was working before, was like more testing. It's not like we were producing something, or we weren't building anything or selling anything. It was just testing. And so where I am now, there are more, it's like the more advanced people that were already working have come together in this place. So and they've brought us, yeah, they brought us more information. What was your question again?
I just wanted to know if this is linked to whatever technology this man has received.
Right. So we are at it. Yes. So this is where I was meant to go, and it is more technologically advanced, and there's the gathering of all the best or the most experienced workers. Maybe you'd call them scientists, and yeah, it's a lot of observing.
What happens next?
Working in this building and working with other people of good minds. Everyone has good minds. We all have a sense that we're working for these other people, and
Bird people?
the whole group of, they're not just bird people, it's a whole group of collective of different races. So we have a sense we're working for them. That's our life. I don't know what else. Basically all I know, perspective of a worker. And
Let's go to another important day of this man's life and tell me what you see.
one thing is flying. Maybe there's flying machines. I'm in the same land. I feel like I'm in the Andes. It's where that place was, South America. I feel like I'm in that same area, but there's planes, some aircraft going, a few in the sky, and I'm watching them.
Do you know who is in that aircraft? Is it something that you're familiar with?
Yeah, I have to get in one too. So I'll be getting in one. So it's other people. Other people are in the aircraft, and they're just small. So a few people get into each one, and then it goes.
So where do you go?
Um, while I'm moving over the landscape, sort of I was up higher in the mountain, and it's going over the lower valley. The plane is going out into the valley, or whatever it's called. I see rivers. I see the mountains go on for a long way. I see a city below. In this city, there's a big building that's kind of like a church. It just sticks up a bit higher than all the other buildings. Sort of a church, kind of was what they call it, spears. I don't know, spires, the pointy things, cone pointy things.
Yeah.
So I see that down below. Like cities are I'm separate. I've always been separate from, it's like the town before, and then the cities. It's like there's like a curiosity. There's something about who I am that's totally compliant to these beings. There's no fear. There's just a total I just basically work for them, and that's everything. There's no choice, there's nothing. I almost like I only exist because they allowed me to exist. So I have no, my mind still works independently, but I don't have any other, I do what they tell me to do physically.
And is this only you, or are the other people, I mean your friends or your colleagues?
Other people too, just like me. In my class, I guess you would call it, but it's for my it's not class like higher or lower, it's just my particular sector. We work for them, but we all have different personalities. We're all unique. It's almost like we're not robots, but we're not, because we're all very different and unique, and enjoy each other. We like the variety and working together, but essentially we all just work for them.
Is it a sense of rather being guided by them and doing things that you're guided to do things that are also in your own interest or in the interest of your, let's say, race? Or is it that you just work for them in a sense that you're not only guided, you are, I would say it's not a nice word, but sounds like slave. Like you just do whatever you're told to do.
But we're very free slave. We're not, yeah, it's like that, but it doesn't have that connotation. It's more like how your children do the chores that they're told to, but they don't mind, or something. There's no resistance. We don't resist them in any way.
Children usually do things that they need to do for their own good.
Yeah, sort of. Maybe that's a bad analogy, but there's no resistance. So, but it's good for us too. I mean, we live a good life. Like, I have what I feel is everything I want. So, and I could ask for as much as I want. So in that way.
You mean materially?
Materially, yeah. So in that way I do have freedom, but I just still consistently work for them. I just wouldn't do anything different. I wouldn't have any ideas to do anything different.
So if you were given the choice, you wouldn't choose anything else, actually. If you were given the chance to work for them or not.
If somebody said, here's a garden tool, go plant a garden, I would be like, no, why would I? No, I wouldn't do it, because I'm just not oriented towards that. So I'm naturally oriented towards doing what I'm doing.
Okay, so you belong actually to those scientists, right?
I guess.
Or are you just overseeing them?
Overseeing.
You said you oversee something at the beginning.
Well, they might. Well, I don't feel like we're there by accident. I think it's all designed. We, meaning my sector, my kind of people, or we've been found throughout, we've been chosen because we're just oriented towards this. So we're naturally oriented to working the way that they want us to work. So
yeah,
I feel like we're doing what we want to do, what we are naturally gifted with, I would say.
So do you have a sense of why they give you these jobs? Is it because only you are capable of doing them, or and they cannot do these jobs, or
Yeah, they can't do these jobs. Why? I don't know why they can't do this job.
So basically, when you work, do you have the feeling that you work rather for the benefit of other people?
I think there's a bigger, almost experiment too, on a larger scale. So we're working for the benefit of the experiment. And so in a sense, these overseers are like, they're the ones who are deciding, okay, now we want to try this, like that. Like they are putting in new variables to the experiment that we have to then put into practice. So they want to see it a bit different, not entirely natural. I feel like we're not entirely a natural. I mean, we feel alive. We feel alive, but we don't.
Okay, so let's go to another time, another place, another day, important day in the life of this man.
Stepping into a big hall, a big room. It's bigger to fit different sized people, races. Quite a tall room, quite big. Yeah, everything's quite blocky, rectangular, with big windows again. Big window. There's a very tall guy, giant light. There are a bird person. They're showing me a variety of different other people on the group that I think I knew of in theory, but I had never seen before. So it's letting me know, expanding my knowledge of who it is, what the group is that oversees what we do. They're working. I feel like I'm like, I know enough and I'm very experienced that now I can also direct things back. Like it's not just them telling me what to do. I'm saying, I think we should move this way. Yeah, I feel like I have a bit more a seat at the table, more of a place in directing. And I enjoy this perspective. I enjoy this position because I really like to explore and experiment. I like the feeling of being able to make more of the decisions about it.
Great.
Very curious to see what else we can do.
Sounds good. Are they planning something? Is there something that you need to know?
Experiments. I don't know exactly what the experiments are, but there was this like bringing different factors into life, into civilization to see what happens. I just have this idea like they're experimenting with different structures of, say, government, of governing, experimenting and seeing how it plays out.
So are they testing in a way also the human capacities?
It's very much like we want to see what happens if we implement this type of socialist or something, sort of different kinds of ways that a community or a country, a civilization or city or whatever is structured. Like if how they work with hierarchy, how they work with less hierarchy where everyone's the same, like communism, socialism.
So they decide upon
There's other things.
what
Yeah.
experiments are made with the humans?
Yeah. The humans don't know that these civilizations don't know that they're being experimented on in this way.
Is this kind of a manipulation as well?
There's a manipulation. There's bringing, they're somehow causing it to happen. Yeah, there's manipulation for sure.
Is it linked to, is it for them that the human race is new and they need to know how their reaction is to certain things, or what structures fits more than others to maybe control or to function well? Or
yeah, it's both functioning well and control, and just it's like, what happens if we do this? What happens if we manipulate, change things this way? If we start putting messages or images, and that eye showed up again, almost like an indication or an example of like, what if you felt like you were being watched all the time? How would people in the city, how would the civilization react if they felt like they were being watched all the time? So that eye be a symbol.
like the all-seeing eye. It's almost as if this group of beings looks at everything from the outside.
Yes, this.
They assign this other some of the people to do certain things
Mhm.
for them to make their experiments work.
Yeah, it's also seeing.
Are they part of our reality, these beings?
Yeah, they just have more technology. They're not part of the communities of the cities. But yeah, it feels like a lot of studying, a lot of research and studying, and really from basic, like they don't know how, like for example, if they were watched a lot, how they don't know what people would be ashamed of or want to hide, like naturally. I don't know.
So they kind of test the collective consciousness of humans
Yes.
in a way to understand the species and to know.
Understand the species, yeah, the human species.
So, in what does it serve them to understand the species? Is there rather a wish for control, or is there rather a wish to help out, or are there some other interests?
I sense there's a combination of control and wanting to help. It's like thinking that they would know the best. There's yeah, real caretaker kind of, we're doing the best for you kind of energy.
It's almost as if humans would know exactly how to organize themselves and
Yeah, we're kind of afraid that
why, or
take control. We don't know what's gonna happen, so we're just really controlling. Like, just we really can't just step back out of it, like an over controlling parent, but also with a sense of scientific experiment, sorry, like experimenting, but still there's no sense of like not doing anything wrong from their perspective.
it's almost as if they are assigned this kind of role or assigned themselves.
Overseers, yeah, no, they don't have a sense of being any other overseer. They're doing their own. It's a collective that's doing their own work.
So when they come, are they in flesh and bone, or is it like an etheric body, or is how do they look like when they are
Their,
there?
their bodies, but they don't present very much to the general population. They'll work with these scientists, the scientist sector. I don't know, I just saw this, like zoomed into the civilization, the community, whatever, the city, to see a baby being born to somebody in there. I guess in the act of giving birth, there's a feeling of an uncontrollable thing. Like it's a different energy, that it's something that's just not controllable by that level, those beings. Or how life exists from that perspective of
Can take care of itself.
take care of itself, and it's much more wild is a name, it was a word, like less predictable, is full of life. There's a force of life, a
Yeah.
strong force of life. Yeah, like bursting forth from the earth. So from a more earthy perspective, and the humans that are of the earth, they are alive and well. So it's like how they are in their natural state, just living and without the without manipulations, how they would be without the manipulations. Life would just happen.
It's almost as if they don't trust those people to take care of themselves.
Yeah, from the higher perspective, they don't know maybe they're not into it being so unpredictable. So they're trying to make things more predictable. That's what it is. That burst of life that really comes from like the earth, it's less predictable. It's very Yeah, it's a more wild energy, and you have to be you almost seem, they might come across as more animalistic, but they're really they're in the flow of the energy of the earth, and they can better adapt to things. The less expectations they have from that perspective, the more they can adapt to whatever happens. But from that higher perspective, they're trying to create more predictability, which then in turn would create expectations. And from one perspective, it's like they think it's better, but what they're losing is that instinctive, or that adaptable being, responding to each situation as it comes, spontaneous.
Is there something in the story as a message that stands out?
Balance between these two energies. That would be mastery, would be balance between these two perspectives. So I guess it's a full circle balance.
Do you have a sense of how long ago it is that the story that we're looking at?
Could be about 5,000 years ago.
So I'm just curious if you see from this perspective, when we looked to further timeline or time, the whole remembering the first house that we were looking at, the whole land was changed. Do you have an idea what happened?
Water.
Was it a catastrophe?
It seems like a huge flood that would have cleared out, would have knocked windows out and washed everything away, and also washed more ground earth from elsewhere. Mud earth would have moved. Do you have a sense of if the flood, if it was engineered or if it was kind of natural? If what was engineered? The flood. Engineered, in fact. Yeah. It was like a way of cleaning out of space, like the space that's not where, rather than just abandoning a place and letting it decay naturally, it's just like cleaned up, almost like a chemical, but not something that would hurt the earth. The opposite, it would like fertilizer chemical, almost like clearing it out so that it just grows really strong afterwards. A natural cleanse. Since it was engineered, do you have a sense of, or if this bird people and the others, if they're in a way involved? Yeah, I think so. Just, it really seems like cleaning up after themselves. So rather than abandoning it, they clean it up. And so did people die in this plot? Well, their subjects that they were experimenting with? Oh, it was done with this place. It was done. So there were a lot of stuff built, but then it was just cleansed. There is a desire to just clear I really don't know if it was bad or good, but just leave no trace. Yeah, like you've done your experiment, you've done the work, and then just clean up. Yeah. For the next ones, maybe. That's right. Yeah, and leave it healthy, so it was left very healthy and fertile. The wildlife could just take over. Do they know or do we have a sense of what they gained from this particular experiment? I just had this feeling like they changed it more into natural forest, so the animals could flourish more. But then again, there's still this sense of experiment. So it was just a different experiment in that space. Mm-hmm. It wasn't just to clean up their mess, it was to create an environment for a new experiment. Is it like a game for them a bit? Sounds like. Well, they don't, not a game, like it's not frivolous. I guess that's just what they do. They oversee, they experiment. They want to see how life works. Experimenting in Earth is like a very fertile place to experiment. I just had this flash, like still ongoing experiments. There's still experiments happening. Even with like the choice of what things to leave, what breadcrumbs to the past to leave, and what they completely have hidden or destroyed. So there are things being revealed now, and more breadcrumbs, and more like the technology to investigate now different monuments, different kinds of things, ancient monuments, like that tech, as it's kind of at the same time, it's developing at the same time as our capacity to take in the information is.
Yeah.
The technology to scan the grounds is being more widely made available. Different kinds of technology is more becoming available now.
Depending on the level of consciousness of the beings
Yeah.
that inhabit.
Yeah. So as humans
Yes.
are able to hold more in their brains than they have been able to in the past, and so the technology is able to be developed or discovered or whatever you want to call it.
So that's what they do, this controlled spoon feeding.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
our brains don't explode if
Yeah.
we know too much too soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, this is very helpful information. Thank you, Elisa.